Welcome to our Breakfast with the Boss, sponsored by Fidelity Bank. I cannot believe that I'm finally seeing so many of you in person. It's been a crazy 20-ish months. Of course, I'm a little out of practice, so I'm really going to be relying on my notes this morning. A quick housekeeping request. Our friends at Air Public Access are joining us in recording this morning's breakfast, so please take a moment to turn your phones on mute or off. If you didn't notice, we have a new backdrop, and we've updated our banners, including our corporate sponsor banner. Businesses that are looking for opportunities to promote their business may be interested in sponsorship. We have a variety of opportunities and are always looking for new ways to promote our businesses. This last year has been a challenge, but with limited in-person events and whatnot, but we are grateful for the partnerships we have with our business leaders. Please take a moment to stand when I call your name. Maria Milliken from Murphy Insurance Agency. Carla Booster of Workers Credit Union. Jeff Stewart of Alpha Graphics. Jim Adams of Enterprise Bank. Chip Deckeler of the LexFest Group. John, Mike, and Mark from Jarvis Board. And our premier sponsors here this morning, Wally Dwyer, President of Main Street Bank. Of course, we couldn't thank our chamber sponsors without thanking the sponsor of this breakfast series, Fidelity Bank. We have had a lot of bumps over the past 20 months. We've Zoomed, postponed, rescheduled, and at every pivot, Fidelity Bank was there, supportive and understanding. I would like to welcome John Pacheco of Fidelity Bank up to say a few words and tell us what Fidelity has been up to. John.
Good morning, folks. Bear with me as this is actually my first speaking engagement for the bank. I have been with the bank for about 4 years, and I have taken on a new role as Business Development Officer for the organization, which encompasses many things, but being here with you all in person is by far the greatest after the last 20 months. I'm thrilled to be here with the Neshoba Valley Chamber Breakfast for the Boss, and we are sponsoring this event. I'd like to recognize Melissa and the dedicated team here at the Neshoba Valley Chamber. Thank you for your leadership and for your commitment to our local business community. It is certainly recognized and appreciated, and I also want to recognize one of my colleagues that's in attendance today, Joanne Morse. Most of you do know her. She's been pivotal in a lot of the work we do at the bank. On behalf of Fidelity Bank, I want to extend a heartfelt congratulations to the organizations being recognized this morning and thank them for their caring contributions to our business community. Following, we have Air Moving and Storage, Rivera Ford, and Florist, and Comrex Corporation. So like these businesses, myself, Joanne, and everyone at the bank, we do a lot of work about caring for our clients. And included in our mission statement, we do care deeply about everything everyone has gone through and their well-being, and we use our hearts to really look at everyone's financial situation. Because we care so deeply, we developed a unique approach, and folks, most of you may recognize our life design approach. Our life design banking approach includes a straightforward but powerful 4-step care process that every one of our bankers uses when working with clients. So throughout the nearly 140-year history, we've been supporting and caring for our clients in any way we can. In a world where things are changing so fast, there is an abundance of uncertainty, and our clients tell us that the value, the clarity and confidence that we have, and it's ever so more important with everything going on these days. We also apply our life design banking approach to our community support so we can help organizations and causes gain the clarity they need to move forward with confidence. Through Fidelity Bank's community dividends, we support hundreds of organizations and events each year, like these breakfasts and the communities we serve. We are continuing our very strong commitment to help as many local businesses and clients as possible. So if the values of clarity and confidence really do appeal to you, you can reach out to Joanne, myself, and any one of our colleagues at the bank to help you with any of your financial needs. And of course, you can visit our website at www.fidelitybankonline.com. Just a little bit of our marketing PR right there for you. I try to go over it and put my little spin on it, but thank you so much for allowing us to sponsor this event, and it's great to be back in person. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It is great to be back in person. Although, obviously, we had a few hiccups even this morning. Like, we have to plan driving time, like, ugh. And then there's traffic, or there was an accident, like, what the? So yeah, fun times as we transition back to the new normal. So during COVID, the Chamber took the opportunity to review and revamp some of our programming, including this series, The Breakfast with the Boss. One thing that a great boss does is recognize. So it seemed only natural to recognize businesses that are contributing to the success of our region. Today, we are going to recognize 4 businesses that you can quickly recognize as leaders in our community. Family owned and operated since day one, Air Moving and Storage takes the moving business personally. Karen and her brother Philip lead the Air Moving and Storage team, guided by the philosophy of their dad, Eldon Strickland, who passed away in 2020. Air Moving and Storage is involved in several community organizations. These days, Karen can be found at the Air Rotary Club, serving Air Shirley Devens Harvard, where she serves as past president and program chair. In fact, she was the first woman member and first woman to be elected president of our Rotary Club. She served as a member of the board of directors on the Neshoba Valley Chamber for many years, having been the chairwoman from 1995 to 1997. In 2013, the Commonwealth Institute named Karen one of 30 honorable mentions on their list of successful female-run companies in Massachusetts. Air Moving and Storage participates in Cell Phones for Soldiers, Move for Hunger, and has supported Habitat for Humanity, the American Red Cross, and other worthy causes. Please join me in recognizing Karen Strickland Sampson of Air Moving and Storage for their contribution to the Neshoba Valley, and congratulations on your 70th anniversary.
I just want you to know I haven't been there 70 years.
I thought that was a given. That was a given.
All right, just wanted to make sure. Thank you very much for 70 years is a long time. Working with my brother is a long project, as you can imagine. And working for my dad was a blessing, but he was a hard taskmaster, so I miss him a lot. But anyway, thank you very much.
This is what makes you successful.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
great
he
job.
was tough. Thank you.
Comrex was founded in 1961 by John Cheney, a broadcast engineer. His mission, as outlined in Comrex's inaugural press release, is to apply advanced state-of-the-art knowledge and techniques to the production of high-quality, practical equipment which can be operated by non-technical personnel, like me. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, Comrex developed audio products for television market, including in 1973, developing a wireless microphone system designed for TV news, and the first to enable reporters to move through more than 1,000 feet from the camera. From the late 1970s onward, Comrex began building products for remote radio broadcasters, including in 1997, when they developed the Hotline POTS, or is it POTS? POTS codec, capable of sending bi-directional 10 kilohertz audio on one phone line. It became a standard for POTS broadcasting. In 2006, Cheney's technical successor, sorry, I haven't done this in 20 months, Tom Hartnett, in partnership with company co-director Chris, developed BRIC, or Broadcast Reliable Internet Codec technology. A full-featured suite of tools, BRIC incorporated sophisticated jitter buffers, and proprietary algorithms to better quality audio over inherently unstable networks, like public internet. These are just a few of the many products Comrex has developed, and there is no way that I could truly do justice to the work that you guys have contributed to your industry. Comrex is a leader in the telecommunications industry and in Neshoba Valley. Please join me in recognizing Chris and Kelly of Comrex for their contribution to Neshoba Valley and the celebration of their 60th anniversary.
Wow.
We'll do another photo in front of the banner after everybody's left. But did you want to say the words or?
So yeah, all of that technical stuff she said is really not very interesting to you. I think the part that I'm most proud of is that here we are in central Massachusetts manufacturing electronics that we sell globally to places like China. How cool is that? So cool. And this makes us even more one of the cool kids, so thank you so much.
Consider yourself forewarned that this one might make me tear up a little bit. So, Steve Jarvis started an automobile business with his brothers in 1961. He sold many different brands in Air, Billerica, and Lowell. Mr. Jarvis was an amazing gentleman. Among his many activities and accomplishments, he was president of the Air Harvard Shirley Rotary Club. We say that so many different ways every single time. we don't know our own identity. I say this because I'm a Rotarian. They know. He was past president, or the Neshoba Valley Chamber of Commerce, and he was a board member of Neshoba Deaconess Hospital. He was also a former board member of the North Middlesex Savings Bank, the New England Ford Dealers Council, and the Devon's Enterprise Commission. Mr. Jarvis ran Jarvis Ford with two of his three sons, John and Mike Jarvis. When Mr. Jarvis passed in 2015, John and Mike took over ownership. Both brothers are as involved in the community as Mr. Jarvis was, both having served on as the Chamber's chairman on the board of directors. John is also a member of the Air Rotary Club. Jarvis Ford is known for supporting many local initiatives, including the Town of Air's Rotary Planting Island project, host and sponsor of the Trunk or Treat in non-COVID times. And Jarvis has aided in procurement and administrative vehicles for Air's DPW and police department, and the list goes on. I have to note that Jarvis's award looks a little different than the rest. My father did the word work, and Steven from Alpha Graphics did the design. Technically, during COVID, we actually already presented this award to John and Mike at Jarvis Ford, which we were able to get a great photo of their new redesigned mechanic bay. But they deserve the public recognition, so here we are today. Please join me in recognizing John, Mike, and Mark of Jarvis Ford for their contributions to the Neshoba Valley region. And this year they are celebrating their 60th anniversary. And they aren't 60 either. It's pretty cool, right? Right? My dad, Steven, they did a great job.
That's awesome. Just a couple quick words. I want to congratulate the other companies that are here getting honored as well. So we're pleased to be up here and accepting this award. So thank you so much. And to Melissa and Megan at the Chamber, it's a huge piece of what we do. We're all out here working every day and doing the best we can for ourselves and our staffs and for the community. So thank you so much. And I do want to say, when Melissa says that Mike and I aren't 60, which is true, but Mark started at the dealership in 1969. He's been with us for 52 years. So an award like this does not happen without people like Mark. So thank you, Mark.
And our final award today. 36 years ago, Jimmy Bernard got started in the landscaping business. According to an unnamed source, Jimmy got his start in his 12x12 sandbox with his Tonka trucks. I'm really unhappy that he's not here this morning. He's in trouble. At age 9, he started mowing lawns with his first customer, his beloved grandmother. It's hard to recognize the contribution of Bernard's florists without recognizing the fact that all members of the Bernard's family are businesses and their businesses are often visible at community events and involved in all community organizations. Jimmy's brother Mark has been a partner with Jimmy since inception of Pinard's Landscaping in 1985. Jimmy's parents, wife, sons, sister, and sister-in-law have also had roles in the Pinard's businesses. Sister Lisa and sister-in-law Cassie run the renovated Pinard's Florist on Central Ave, established 30 years ago in 1991. 2 years ago, Pinard's Florist renovated the shop, added a cafe to feature red wine coffee and delicious pastries. If you haven't yet been, I highly recommend. Pinard's Florists hosts an annual pumpkin decorating contest, along with a costume contest. I've even had the opportunity to meet Santa during the holidays at Pinard's. Of course, one of my favorite programs, hosted by Pinard's Florist, is the annual Coffee with a Cop. The mission of Coffee with a Cop is to break down the barriers between police officers and the citizens they serve by removing agencies, agendas, and following opportunities to ask questions, voice concerns, and get to know the officers of our neighborhood. Please join me in recognizing Lisa, Richard, for their contribution to the Neshoba Valley and congratulate them on their 30th anniversary. I don't have to say anything, do I? She is unlike Jimmy.
Yes.
Jimmy is the speaker of the group.
But I will say on behalf of the whole entire Pinard family, thank you so much for honoring us with this. It's 30 years is a lot, and hopefully we'll be here for 30 more.
I know that I did not capture all that these businesses have done for their industries and our community. 30, 60, 70 years is a long time. Thank you for helping us recognize these great businesses. And as you hear of other businesses in our community with business success, please let us know. We love to promote our members. Now, the other reason that we're here today is for our breakfast with the boss. Today's boss is Dan Rivera. Dan joined Mass Development after serving 7 years as mayor of the city of Lawrence. Folks have already mentioned the Lawrence gas. So I'm wondering if we'll hear about that. So during his time as mayor, the city saw significant commercial development, record new units of housing, and tens of millions of dollars invested in economic development, planning, and projects. Dan's focus on economic and community development as mayor including investments in housing, job creation, downtown redevelopment, transit-oriented development and equity, infrastructure, brownfields redevelopment, placemaking, and quality of life improvements. You've done a lot. You have big shoes. Dan was an invaluable member of the Baker-Polito administration's Reopening Advisory Board, bringing the municipal viewpoint to the group tasked with developing the Commonwealth's strategy to reopen the economy during COVID-19, and the COVID-19 Vaccine Advisory Group. In 2017, Governor Baker tapped Rivera to serve on the newly established Latino Advisory Commission, charged with addressing concerns of Massachusetts' Latino community and promoting economic prosperity and well-being. Without further ado, I turn it over to Dan Rivera.
Well, all those projects are like fancy words. We fix sidewalks.
It's all about the marketing.
You know, hire police officers and the normal things that if we didn't do, angry people would show up at my house. Good morning, thank you for having me here. It's funny, I think it's breakfast with the boss, but really because Jessica is here and Kelly are here. Those are really my bosses. I do whatever Jessica Kelly says. That's why they got me out of my house this early in the morning. And my wife was angry about it, but I said, you know what, Jessica and Kelly said, so she said, okay. We don't want them showing up at our door. Thanks to Melissa and her team here at the Chamber for organizing this event and for all the efforts supporting the business community in this region. I know Jessica sits on your board of directors and that our organizations have worked in partnership for many years, so thank you for that. And for those of you that don't know, Melissa goes above and beyond with offers of assistance to us, pitching debits, promoting financing programs, for folks who need our help in any sort, including in advertising and marketing. So we appreciate that effort with that. Along with the local chamber, Melissa even provided Zoom training courses to Mass Development employees Listen, I don't know, we should just put you on the payroll. Thank you.
I'm okay with that.
Jessica's taking notes.
Mostly taking pictures.
Both the records have said. But it goes without saying, this chamber and this community are lucky to have an advocate like Melissa. I think the presence of banks and family businesses as part of a chamber is a reflection of how good the chamber is. So I think a round of applause for Melissa. So in case some of you don't know, Mass Development was created by a merger of the Government Land Bank back in the day, and the Massachusetts Industrial Finance Agency. Later, MIFA and HIFA came along. It's not an endearing way to say it, but it's really a Frankenstein monster of development organizations and financing tools that the state had. And along the way, from that, we became responsible for the redevelopment of Devens, the former U.S. Army base in central Massachusetts. And as the land bank, we purchased it in 1996 when it closed. But it represents a big portion of our portfolio of mass development and how we're able to support economic development in Massachusetts. Since '96, Mass Development has worked to transform this 4,400 acre site into sustainable and thriving mixed-use community. The base's closure caused a loss of 8,000 military and civilian jobs, not an insignificant number. The financial support from the Commonwealth, strategic approaches to infrastructure and permitting, and a community central location, Devens is home to more than 500 residents, close to 100 businesses, nonprofit and government organizations that employ more than 6,000 workers. And this is according to, not our counting, UMass Donahue Institute count all that. So if you didn't know that, that's happening right here at Devens every day. What's striking about these numbers, and I've only been on the job 10 months, so I'm still getting used to this information, so I'm also using my notes. So I apologize, I'm usually more interactive. But I think it's important to get the real facts out so you guys can understand what's happening. They have not only for, the numbers aren't just an impact for Devens, but for the entire North Central region as a whole. The report found that the economic activities of private and nonprofits in Devens supported employment of another 88,000 workers in Massachusetts, and estimated $2.3 billion in direct economic activity by private and nonprofit organizations. In Devens supported additional spending of $1.5 billion in local supply chain, for a total contribution of nearly $3.8 billion to the Massachusetts economy in 2019. That's a lot of information I'm throwing at you, I understand that. The gist of it is there is an economic impact from the work that's happening here at Devens, and it grows every year. Under Jessica's leadership, providing municipal services, we like to call her the unofficial mayor of Devens. She has to make sure that the plows are working, the streets are clean, the grass is cut, and firefighters and police officers show up to work. She also has an airport. I think she may even have some unexploded ordinances.
To be clear, no airplanes flying in and out of that airport.
Yeah.
The former airport.
The former airport.
Yeah.
And so I think having been a mayor, I felt like when I found out that I had this in the portfolio, I thought, man, I thought I would get away from the snow plowing. And the good news is I have. Jessica takes care of all of it. So I'm just happy when it snows to think, I hope Jessica's okay. Anyway, there's a lot of exciting things happening here in Devens. I think some of you know some of this stuff. Last week we announced $4.1 million tax exempt bond to help Acumen Engineering buy a 3.1 acre parcel over at George Street. It'll build a 39,000 square foot manufacturing facility. Last week we also closed on the sale of 25.4 acre site at Bulls Road to Scannell Properties. They'll begin to erect a 150,000 square foot built-to-suit manufacturing facility for Watson Marlowe Fluid Technology, headquartered in the UK. The $53 million facility would initially create approximately 150 jobs. Construction is also underway at King Street Properties, new 5-building, 45-acre biomanufacturing campus. It'll include 700,000 square feet of move-in ready. But that is really novel. It's life science space built at spec. So it's like they're out there on this thing, but the only thing beating housing in the market right now is the life science space. And from my understanding, they're doing really well with the leasing them up. So we're looking to support those businesses. Construction is also on the way to Commonwealth Fusion Systems for their new 47-acre commercial fusion energy campus. It's a big deal. The birthplace really of commercial fusion energy industry in the world. There was I don't know how many weeks back, there was an Edison moment with the testing of the magnets, and they succeeded. And they really think it's going to change the way we deal with energy in the world. And of course, the fun stuff, New England Studios, where they filmed Dexter, something, The Tender Bar. I guess Justice says that if you've seen Ben Affleck and George Clooney sightings out here, that's because New England Studios is doing there. And because they passed a law recently to extend and grow the tax credit for films in Massachusetts, they're going to grow here as well. They're looking to expand. And having been the recipient of anybody see the Live by Night, that movie with Ben Affleck, actually? What's the books? It's one of, what's the name of the book? It was also a book. It's a series of books. I'll think about it before I leave. Anyhow, they brought it to Lawrence, and it really transformed the community. And nothing gives a shining off to a community that feels like, we're just like this boring city north of Boston. Then like Ben Affleck and his mom having coffee at the Dunkin' Donuts, and showing up in people's magazines. We were like, "You're in Peter Magazine?" I'm like, "Yeah, we planned that." Just regular Lawrence Day with all these highfalutin people. But it rolls the profile of the communities, and then the Little Women did a bunch of scenes in Lawrence as well. It just becomes that. So the more we do it, the more it's important. And a lot of people have issues that the tax credit is a lot of money. But you just can't pay for that type of brand and support for the businesses in the community. And the last one, my favorite one, is the Devens Museum. Having been a veteran and a former military person who lived on a base with a museum in Germany, 3rd Armored Division, because Elvis was in our unit. We had an Elvis museum in Germany, in Frankfurt. And I was an MP, so I was on the base, and everybody thought it was really funny every time they came in. There had been an Elvis sighting, and I was like, that's, I've been here 3 years. It continues to be not funny. But the thing about the Military Museum is that it's cool for people who served to come back to where they served and kind of relive places they had to run miles in and, train, all that. But more importantly, I think it centers the community here. This Stefford would not have been here but for the fort that has a World War I history, that has a World War II history, a key role in Vietnam, in Korea, special forces, all the stuff, innovation in the military really did happen here. And if you've ever been to any fort, there's a cool one in Hawaii that have nice, really cool helicopters up front. It becomes a shrine really for why we all ended up being here. And I would just encourage you, if you haven't been to the Devens Museum, to go. If you didn't know, the former Joint Chief of Staff General Colin Powell met his wife and was a first-time lieutenant when he first got commissioned. He was stationed here at Fort Devens. So we hope to make that a shrine for him and all the great people that came through here and all the cool things. I could talk about the museum for a long time, but I won't. I'll give you the boilerplate, and then we can move on from that, because I just want to take some questions. In addition to our work, we're developing Devens. Mass Development is a statewide institution to stimulate business across the Commonwealth. In FY21, we financed 416 projects, generated investment of more than $1.8 billion in the Massachusetts economy, and these projects estimated to create or support 6,500 jobs and close to 2,000 housing units. My boss is the Secretary of Housing and Economic Development. He's the chair of our board. The board is appointed by the governor, Charlie Baker, and we are a really important tool in their economic development agenda and executing it. They put one out, an agenda called Partnerships for Growth, and of the 4 pillars in that, the only one we don't really play in is workforce development. And then only tangentially, I wouldn't say we 100% we're off that, but we do help people buy and grow their businesses that are nonprofits that are in that space. But so we're a tool really of the state to get done what they want to do. If you want an example of that outside of the stuff we do at Devens, the GE deal, everybody, GE was going to come to Boston. In the end, Mass Development bought the property for GE to come to Boston. When it kind of fell apart, Mass Development had to sell the property, but we were the tool in order to get it done. And then the small thing, I call it small because in comparison to G, and in Boston you think it might be small, but it was big for us. In Lawrence, they helped us buy a property that was a church, had been on the market, maybe 3 years. They hadn't used it as a church for a long time, but the church owned it. It used to be a bank before that. Everybody has one of those kind of buildings in their downtowns that have kind of just sits idle. This was one of them. So we went in there, we said to the preacher, hey, can we buy it from you? The city wants to buy it. And we saw it was on the market for $600,000. We'll pay the $600,000. He goes, oh no, for the city? You gotta give me a 1.5 for it. I said, well, I'm gonna go now. I can't do 1.5, and so it became untenable. So when Marty Jones, who was the president of Massimo, came down, she was talking to the mayor, she said, how can we help? And I said, listen, I'm having this trouble. I would really like to get this. And they created a blind LLC that went in and bought the property for $500,000 for us. And we bought it from them. And so we got it, and today there's 36 units of housing going up there, first floor commercial. So that type of deal mass development can put together to help communities grow, to get better. What I've learned since being here is if you need a new refrigerator, a big refrigerator room for your food and stuff, we can help you buy that equipment and finance it at a reasonable rate. Work with banks to ensure that real estate deals are happening, and secure what otherwise might not be a financeable, effort. But if it means jobs, it means housing, if it means expanding the economy, we'll be there to help. I'm gonna stop there. There's a lot really want me to say, but I don't want to say anything. I'd love to take some questions, and if there's not, I'll go back to my script. But anybody have any questions? Over there? Yeah. Please tell me your name and your organization.
I'm Lori Masiello from Massey Systems in Pepperell, and since you said buy a big refrigerator, I just want to let you know that you've done that for me 3 times.
Come on. That wasn't even a plan. I like that.
So Kelly's still here. There she is. Kelly and Roy Angel helped us finance our big, giant refrigerators and freezers. So Massey provides services for pharmaceutical, biotech, and medical device companies, and we actually have big walk-in freezers and refrigerators for that. So with your support, and with my good buddy Wally, Massey has grown over these 30-something years. So thank you to Mass Development.
Thank you. We started to highlight people that we've helped in our quarterly staff meetings.
And you missed me?
No, you just gave me a great idea.
You're all coming, you're coming.
That's the idea that you gave me was we did the breweries last time because it was Oktoberfest, we did breweries. Next time we might do refrigerators, like everybody we've helped with refrigerators. It's funny, it seems weird, but it's a very crucial piece. If it's in your part of your business, that's overhead, man, and that's capital improvement, that's a big
Come see
deal.
my refrigerators, they're pretty special.
And through the pandemic, I guess we do know that refrigerating that stuff is kind of important. Anybody else have questions?
No other
You guys are gonna let me off easy, really?
I'm just curious. I think I read something about a restaurant locally in Ashby that you had helped out. Everyone knows restaurants right now are struggling to find staff and coming out of the pandemic. Are you doing a lot of work with restaurants? Helping them out? Any programs?
We see the food industry as a very important way to grow jobs and low barrier to entry jobs. You might be a server who just graduated college and looking for a job, and that's what you're doing part-time. But if you're a single mom, want to drop out or anything, you can get a job waitressing. Or, if you're a new immigrant to this community, being in line, it's a really good entry. So we want to support them. We have in the past done a lot of things, but we changed some stuff recently to accommodate some of that. Leasehold improvements, one of them. So some restaurants don't own the buildings they're in. They want to do a redo. We're in this new effort, leaseholding improvements, we will lend money to organizations to do that, specifically if there's jobs connected to them. So yeah, we want to do that. I think that the secretaries and the governor are trying to figure out a way to do a restaurant, recovery. Lots of ARPA money out there. I kind of laugh because ARPA, every time somebody says ARPA, it's like a drinking game. Like everybody who's saying ARPA this, ARPA that. It's almost like life sciences. Every time somebody says that, it's like a drinking game. And we're not really sure what the end of it is, but we'd love to help out restaurants, especially this time with family businesses. Restaurants I think have been impacted specifically with this. But the next generation doesn't want to get in the business. So it's a thriving business. And, you know, now they have to find somebody to buy it and support it. And so in that situation, we'd love to help finance some of those deals, especially if it means those jobs stay. If the workers want to own a cooperative way, that would be helpful. I've probably answered too much.
Oh, that's good, yeah, it's good to know.
Well, sorry.
So this is Breakfast with the Boss. You've been the boss of Lawrence, now you're the boss of Mass Development, so to speak.
Yeah.
Differences, what are the differences from your position as you look down through the organization? What's the biggest difference impacting your ability to do your job in those two different scenarios?
You know, I really was blessed in my time in Lawrence, but the problems were really long-standing and, you know, just sometimes, and even today, are insurmountable when people think about it. Here, not so much. I mean, I think so I'm running 747, and I get to be in the pilot C4, and my job is to make sure I don't crash it or mess it up. But one thing that rings true for both is good teams. And the moment we hired, we stole an economic development director from Lowell. No one thought she would come. Teresa Park, she came to Lawrence. We hired the best fire chief in the region. He was in Haverhill, and the Haverhill mayor and the fire department didn't really get along, so he never wanted to be mayor. He never wanted to be fire chief in Haverhill. And thank God we got him, because after the gas crisis, he was the emergency management person, and he was invaluable. So having the team has really been really important. And I live and die by, because I'm not that really smart of a guy. I got into UMass before they implemented all the great things at Amherst. I could not get into UMass Amherst today. And somebody definitely was asleep at Suffolk when they let me get my MBA. So it was like, I don't lean heavy on that stuff. And so this book that I really live and die by is From Good to Great, How You Make Your Companies Great Companies. And you know, talk about getting the right people on the bus. And I've been blessed to have like people that want to get on the bus, and then inheriting good people on the bus.
Great.
Is there a timeline that you can share on the expansion of the New England studios?
The answer to that is no.
Well, you know, it's also, you know, it's a family business, the people who own that stuff.
Yeah.
So the hope is that they get energized. They were really energized that they finally got approved. But that business is very sensitive to how much it costs in the front, you know, people investing in these businesses, in those movies, in that content. But clearly there has been no time like today where content is like, you can't get enough of it. And, you know, in all the venues, having Apple TV producing, not just the traditional studios, I think it's gonna make a difference. And I think they have a good reputation, so I think it's gonna be sooner than later, but I don't have what she said is right.
No other questions?
I'd like to, you know, you can always get to Jessica and Kelly, anything you need. I always like to give people out my cell phone in case you have something specifically for Mass Development. My cell phone is 978-985-5143. I'll give it to you, you can have it. And
Repeat.
978-985-5143. 978-985-5143. And I used to do this like a really cool parlor trick. I used to do it in these huge crowds. I was like, give me that phone number. No one ever called me. No one ever called me. And I would make them, hey, somebody call me. So people were actually dialing me when I was up on stage, and they just would never call me. But they had when I called them, they knew it was me because they had it in their phone number. So anything we can do, we're here to help. I appreciate the hospitality today.
For you. It is a barbecue set. I know we're exiting barbecue season, but it's a little barbecue set.
I thought it was like a quiver. Like this is amazing. I actually need one.
Oh, there you go.
Can we open it?
I don't know.
It looks professional.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it back in right.
Just kidding, there's nothing in there.
Oh my God, it's a feather. I want to do something that's not.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
I appreciate your spending your time and sharing your insights, so thank you so much. Before we wrap up, a few quick things. I would be remiss if I didn't take a second to recognize the members of our board that are here today. I've been here for almost 20 years, and they have always been amazingly supportive, but definitely important during the middle of COVID. John Jarvis from Jarvis Ford. Jessica Strunkin from Mass Development. And Lori Massiello from Massey Systems. Also, and I know that at least half of the group that I'm going to announce does not love when I do this, but I do not do what I do. I'm not at all half successful without the support of our team and Megan hiding in the back, not making eye contact. And for those that do not know, I'm a transparent, open person. She's also my sister, so if we're fresh with each other, it's HROK. And this year, in the middle of COVID, Ellen was able to join our team, and is working on membership. So if you have businesses that are not yet members, she would love to speak with them. Very special thanks to our Breakfast with the Boss sponsor, Fidelity Bank. Our next breakfast is scheduled for January 12th, and our keynote speaker is going to be Little Leaf Farm. We are going to still be rescheduling our September breakfast, pivot, pause, with the Catania oils. So as soon as we have that information, we will let you know. Very special thanks to the team at the Hilton Garden Inn. Always amazing service, and we most appreciate it. Very thanks. I've already been speaking for too long. I was doing so well. You knew it was going to happen. Thank you to Scott at Air Public Access for recording the program today. If you've taken photos, please feel free to tag the chamber, and when we post photos, if you are in them, please tag yourself. We have lots of other great events coming up on the calendar. We have a great bash of 2021 at Great Wolf Lodge next Wednesday, the 17th, and our chamber holiday open house is going to be on December 16th. Visit our website, nvcoc.com, for more information. And with that, thank you so much. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.